In a dimly lit chamber, far removed from the prying eyes of the world, members of a secretive organization gathered. Each figure was hidden behind a cloak of anonymity, their faces obscured by masks. It was a tense assembly. Tensions had risen within the ranks, whispers of a mole reporting to the authorities making rounds. The council's influence in world politics had always operated from the shadows, their members some of the most influential leaders globally. Exposure was not an option. The room filled with murmurs as a coded message appeared on the chamber's central table, projected from a hidden source. The message was encrypted, accessible only to those who had proven their loyalty beyond any reasonable doubt. The message decrypted itself to reveal a cryptic phrase, "The sun shall set, but we shall rise," followed by a series of coordinates. These were the instructions for the next mission, one that could either solidify their power or unravel the very fabric of their organization. Every eye in the room turned towards the council's leader, known only as the Maestro, who stood up to address the assembly. "We face trials that test our loyalty and resolve, but let it be known the council shall not falter. Prepare yourselves. A new dawn is upon us." The members of the council dispersed, each returning to their lives of outward normality, but inwardly calculating the ramifications of the forthcoming mission. Among them was Vivian, a renowned scientist by day, her influence extending from academic circles to the secretive corridors of power. Vivian couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. Ever since she joined the council, she had harbored reservations about their clandestine activities. The coordinates revealed in the message corresponded to a location she knew all too well, a secret research facility linked to weaponized artificial intelligence. Arriving home, she went straight to her private lab. Surrounded by the cutting-edge technology she had helped develop, Vivian pondered the ethics of the mission ahead. For years, she had balanced on a moral tightrope, justifying her actions as a means to an unseen end. Meanwhile, across the city, another council member, Ethan, had his own doubts but for different reasons. He wondered who among them could be the mole. A career politician, he was adept at reading people, and something in the room had felt off. Both Vivian and Ethan felt the weight of their looming choices. The coordinates were more than just a location. They were a crossroads for each member's future, and perhaps the future of humanity itself. The night was filled with tension as council members made their way to the secret research facility. Each carried their own reasons for being part of this mission, shrouded in secrecy and potential for immense power or catastrophic failure. As Vivian entered the facility, her eyes fell on a familiar sight, the very machine that had been the subject of her academic studies, but never intended for the kind of use the council had in mind. The irony was not lost on her. Ethan, too, found himself in a dilemma as he navigated through the security protocols. His political cunning had always been his asset, but tonight it felt like a burden. Questions filled his mind. Who is loyal? Who is the mole? The council members convened in a control room where the machine was set to be activated. The atmosphere was electric, charged with both excitement and a palpable sense of dread. "The moment of truth is upon us," declared the Maestro, his hand hovering over the activation button. "Let history remember this as the night the Shadow Council either rises to new heights or falls into oblivion." The room fell into a heavy silence as the Maestro pressed the activation button. The machine hummed to life, its lights flickering as if waking from a deep slumber. The council members held their collective breath, eyes fixed on the central display that would soon indicate success or failure. For Vivian, this was the point of no return. As the machine initialized, she couldn't help but question the morality of what they were about to do. Her mind raced through the ethical implications, weighing the scientific achievements against potential human cost. Similarly, Ethan was locked in his own inner struggle. With his finger poised on his phone, he had the means to alert the authorities, effectively betraying the council but potentially saving countless lives. His years in politics had taught him that every decision carried weight, but the heaviness of this moment felt unparalleled. Then, the machine beeped. The display read, "Mission successful." The room erupted in subdued cheers, but the sense of victory was tinged with a complexity that weighed on everyone. The maestro grinned. "Tonight, we have rewritten the rules of power and influence. The council will no longer lurk in the shadows. We are the shadows." Suddenly, as if on cue, every council member's phone buzzed simultaneously. They each read a message that was not part of the original plan. "This is just the beginning," it said. No one claimed responsibility for sending it, adding another layer of tension to an already complex evening. The fallout from that fateful night was both immediate and far-reaching. The council's actions had irrevocably altered the landscape of power, but not without consequence. Rumors circulated about the mysterious message, turning allies into skeptics and breeding distrust among members. Vivian found herself questioning her role more than ever. In the days that followed, her research took on a darker tone as she contemplated the Pandora's box they had collectively opened. The ethics of science had always been a grey area for her, but now it was a stormy sea in a tempest. Ethan, too, underwent a transformation. The untraceable message had shattered his illusion of control, forcing him to re-evaluate his alliances. For the first time in his career, he found himself on the fringes, both feared and revered by his political peers. As for the maestro, his vision for the council was realized, but at the cost of its unity. The members continued to meet, the conversations more guarded, the agendas more cryptic. The Shadow Council had evolved into something even he couldn't fully grasp. And so, the council members resumed their daily lives, forever changed, but bound by a secret that was as powerful as it was perilous. They each pondered the same unsettling question. Had they become the architects of a new world or the harbingers of its destruction?